That's good. So the question is about slums. In your last response, you mentioned about how the people in the slums are an integral part of Bombay and they do a lot of work and provide a lot of services. So his question is there a possibility that we could at least control the growth of these slums, and what can we do to achieve that? And the other question is also related to you, where he says, if AAP candidates like you are unable to win the election, will you still continue with AAP?
Um, Let everyone know that 72% of the Mumbai's population lives in slums, horizontal slums, and some are vertical slums. But we are not for the growth of slums, not at all. We are for the housing rights, the right to shelter, which is what is the constitutional right, as a part of the right to life under Article 21, and which is what is the internationally recognized right under the various United Nations covenants and conventions. And hence, for granting that right, what we want to happen is give the affordable housing. We have already submitted as movements a plan for 1 crore people's housing in Mumbai itself, and that is possible for every city and a mega city and a metropolis. That is possible if you have various categories of housing so that people can afford. And this kind of slum proliferation is because of two, three main reasons. One is migration. Now, in order to stop migration, which we are very much for, we cannot use the Raj Thakreism. We cannot resort to regionalism, which divides people, which attacks the people who come to cities and contribute, as in Mumbai. And they are not only the interstate migrants, they are also increasing number of intrastate migrants. There is an act in this country, that is India, the Interstate Migrant Workmen's Act, under which we fought a battle in the Gujarat High Court, and we won the battle. I had written that report extensively with the other senior colleagues like the advocate Mahesh Bhatt and others, and we know that that committee report brings out the kind of exploitation of the interstate migrants as against the non-implementation of that act, and that continues even today. There is to be a record of the interstate migrant employers, but there is no record. The labor commissioner in Mumbai had told us that there are only 3 contractors who employ interstate migrants. Now this is ridiculous, and growing number of migrants are intrastate migrants. Why has this situation been created? And how to address this situation? There is a need to decentralize development planning in the country, to reach out to the nook and corner, but not as monetary investors encroaching upon the land and natural resource investors. That reaching out should be taking in the form of inclusive progress and development with justice. So we would appeal to everyone's conscience to find out what is the status of migration from the economic surveys of India, and our solution is to have the minimum development works and projects in every ward in the city, but also in every rural hinterland, and then that migration will be curtailed. And in order to do that, the people should be given the power and authority to plan their development, so that they would say that let us have these industries on the basis of the raw material. This is the raw material available here. So the kind of new imperialism, as we were sending the raw material outside to the Commonwealth controller, and then that was considered as their wealth, and we would get the the Pakka products, and that was the source of exploitation during the British legacy. We need to change that and not have it in the new form. Another thing is, after stopping or minimizing migration also, you will get the migrants in the city. The employers have to have the due responsibility to give them housing, to give them water, to give them medical treatment, and that is all. And also krishi, that is all in the Interstate Migrant Workmen's Act. All that we are saying is implement those, but the state is not for implementation. We want also a new act for the intrastate migrants, because that is the reality today. So we want to get rid of slums, but that cannot be through bulldozers, because your domestic servant, the construction worker that built your house, your driver who drives you to the office, your parking place monitors, the youngsters who are serving you tea, who are cleaning your toilets and your societies, cooperative societies, your buildings, all of them are in the slums. You may be buying vegetables on the street, they are the hawkers, they are in the slums. Who is not in the slums? Those who are parasitic existence are not in the slums. I must say, sorry to say this, but if you take care of this unprotected class of workers, if you give them the due price for their labor, due value for their labor, then the situation will change. And if you do not have the land grabbing market, which escalates the prices for the land and houses, then they will not be in the slum. And if the public authorities take the responsibility to provide these kinds of affordable housing through public partnership between the government on one hand and the people on the other, why can't the construction workers in the poor localities, but who are rich in their labor and skills, who build others' houses, why can't they build their own houses? They all are ready. They're just waiting for a positive, democratic, creative response. And that is the solution we have today with the Aam Aadmi Party. And all the people's movements support this, who are for urban poor, because urban poor are not ants and insects. They are the contributors. They are the skilled workers, and they make yours and my life easier and livable. That is what Einstein had once said.
Wonderful. That's excellent, Medhaji. I think this is one of those rare occasions where we have seen someone passionately, express all these views, which most of us are not even aware of. So, which is fabulous. And thank you for doing that.